You need a tough, dependable truck, but there's one engine lurking in the used market that can turn your workhorse into a wallet-draining headache. It's Ford's 6.0L Power Stroke diesel from 2003 to 2007. Promising big torque and heavy-duty performance, this V8 instead delivered rapid failures, sky-high repair bills, and endless downtime. Here's why you should never buy a truck with this engine and what to choose instead. The origins of the 6.0L Power Stroke. Ford introduced the 6.0L Power Stroke under pressure to outperform GM's Duramax. Built on a rushed timeline, the engine suffered from unproven components, weak head gaskets, a fragile EGR cooler, and a temperamental high-pressure oil system. Enthusiasts called it the diesel that never should have been. In theory, its 325 HP and 750 power-and-mobility of torque sounded ideal for towing. In practice, owners face blown gaskets and oil cooler catastrophes within 50,000 miles. When an engine is this flawed at its core, no amount of maintenance can fully erase its design shortcomings. Eager cooler failures and intake corrosion. One of the most notorious weak points is the EGR, exhaust gas recirculation, cooler. It often develops hidden cracks, leaking coolant directly into the intake manifold. Suddenly, your once powerful diesel turns into a hydrolock nightmare. Steam-clean cylinders, bent rods, and a complete engine teardown. Even if you replace the EGR cooler, the corrosion damage in the aluminum intake stays behind. That means recurring coolant leaks and expensive rebuilds. Would you gamble thousands to patch a hole in a foundation you know is going to crumble? High-pressure oil system woes. The 6.0L's high-pressure oil, HPO system feeds the engine's advanced fuel injectors. But the factory oil cooler and oil filter head are prone to cracking, causing sudden drops in oil pressure. Lose your oil pressure, and you risk scoring the cam, destroying the pump, and walking back to town. Upgrading to an aftermarket HPO filter head or deleting the cooler helps, but it's an added expense many buyers don't anticipate. Are you prepared to spend over $1,000 just to stop your engine from self-destructing? Variable geometry turbocharger nightmares. The 6.0L's VGT turbo was cutting-edge in 2003, but prone to carbon coking and sticking vanes. Once the turbo binds, you lose boost, suffer black smoke, and face turbo replacement costs north of $3,000. Even rebuilt cores can fail if the underlying oil cooler and EGR issues continue. In other words, fixing one broken part without addressing the engine's systemic flaws is like bailing out a sinking ship with a thimble. Real-world horror stories. One owner shared how his truck blew its head gasket mid-towing, dumping coolant into the oil pan, and welding the turbo to the exhaust manifold. Another recounted an HPO cooler leak that locked up the engine at highway speed, turning his rig into a roadside paperweight. These aren't isolated tales, they echo across forums and diesel meetups. When a design flaw is baked into the engine block, every truck carries that ticking time bomb risk. The true cost of bulletproofing. Diesel shops sell bulletproofing packages, upgraded head studs, oil cooler delete kits, and stronger filter heads to resolve 6.0L weaknesses. But a complete build costs $10,000 to $15,000 in parts and labor. At that point, you've spent as much as a perfectly good 6.4-inch Power Stroke truck. Plus, even a bulletproof block can still face wear-related issues after high mileage. When the cure costs more than a healthier engine, the remedy isn't worth the risk. Smarter alternatives for diesel power. If you need true diesel reliability, consider the 6.4L Power Stroke, 2008 to 2010. It fixed many of the 6.0L's flaws with a reinforced block and improved cooling. Or look to GM's Duramax LB7, 2001 to 2004, known for its durable injectors and rock-solid head gaskets. Not chasing diesel? Ford's 6.2L V8 gas and GMC's 5.3L V8 offer strong towing numbers with far fewer catastrophic issues. Sometimes the best choice is avoiding over-engineered complexity in favor of proven simplicity. Essential red flags when shopping used. Scan listings for any mention of EGR or oil cooler work. If the seller can't provide receipts for HPO upgrades or head stud installs, walk away. High-mileage trucks without documented heavy-duty rebuilds are ticking your bank account's time bomb. On test drives, listen for hissing at idle, coolant leaks. Watch for white smoke on startup, hydro-lock symptoms, and check oil pressure under load. Spot any warning sign and assume you'll be towing to the shop next week. Maintenance costs over the ownership timeline. Even if you avoid catastrophic failures, the 6.0L demands obsessive maintenance. EGR coolers and oil coolers need flushing or replacement every 30,000 miles. And the elusive oil filter head warrants inspection at every oil change. Skip a schedule, Peppo, and you risk carbon buildup or hidden corrosion. Two issues that snowball into six-figure engine repairs. Factor in specialized fluids, premium additives to mitigate soot, and routine injector service. An annual maintenance can top $2,500. For a truck initially selling under $40,000, that 6% yearly upkeep rivals costs for high-end European performance cars, hardly the bargain you expected. Depreciation and resale nightmares. Trucks equipped with the 6.0L Power Stroke plummet faster in value than nearly any other diesel model. Once a half-ton Super Duty held its worth at 50% after 5 years. With the 6.0L, you're lucky to see 30%. Buyers know the reputation and market demand for these engines is rock bottom. Even bulletproofed examples struggle to fetch more than 25 to 30% of original MSRP. As a seller, you'll face lowball offers or risk your listing sitting for months. That steep depreciation compounds your total cost of ownership, turning what looked like a capable work truck into a financial albatross. Comparison to newer Ford diesel engines. Fast forward to the 6.7L Power Stroke introduced in 2011, and you'll see a world of difference. Ford redesigned the block, upgraded the oiling system, and ditched the EGR cooler in favor of a robust, cooled EGR valve assembly. The result? Fewer coolant leaks, vastly improved head gasket life, and HPO systems you can trust past 200,000 miles. If you crave torque but dread maintenance, the 6.7L offers 450-plus lb FT with vastly lower headache risk. The trade-in spread between a 6.0 and a 6.7 can often be covered by the service savings in just a few seasons, making the newer engine a smarter pick for long-term value. Warranty and extended service plan pitfalls. Many buyers turn to extended warranties to mitigate 6.0L risks, but plan terms are often riddled with exclusions. Most policies won't cover components subject to rust or corrosion, effectively excluding EGR and oil cooler repairs. Even comprehensive plans cap payouts well below real rebuild costs, leaving you responsible for thousands in over-limit charges. Before signing on the dotted line, read every line of fine print. You may find you've paid premiums without real peace of mind. Protect your wallet and your weekend. The 6.0L Power Stroke once promised class-leading torque, but delivered relentless headaches and bank-breaking repairs. With so many more reliable engines on the market, why gamble on this notorious V8? Share your experiences in the comments. Have you survived a 6.0L disaster? Or are you planning an upgrade? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more insider tips on choosing the right truck and avoiding the worst engines. Your wallet and your next tow will thank you.